Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas, and welcome to the second night of our season finale and the final night of matches for the year, Ultimate Fight Night. We're back here in Lafayette, Louisiana, where it has been a long and challenging 11 months, but now the culmination of everyone's efforts will be put on display tonight. Our Royal Rumble winner, Reyn, will have the chance of redemption for losing the belt last year at this very event as he takes on Raiden. The Big Bang Theory will try to reclaim their belts from the Skelebros, and Naoto Shirogane has yet another opportunity at the women's Cruiserweight belt. Will she succeed this time, or will she once again fall short at the final hurdle? And the biggest question of the evening, will Akihiko finally do the impossible and dethrone the undefeated Goro Akechi, or will Crow end off the season with a perfect 28 wins and 0 losses? Both men have been training exceptionally hard for this moment, and we will soon see who will be the first to get their opponent down twice. So grab a snack, a seat, and prepare yourselves for yet another night of 14 dramatic and encapsulating matches, because this is our season finale. This is Ultimate Fight Night. And here we go, starting off our night. Introducing first, it is the ultimate martial artist, Sakura Ogami. And after last night, heading into this morning, I was looking at everyone's stats this year, and well, Sakura had a lot better season than I thought she did. And her opponent, a woman who had a lot worse of a season than I'm sure everyone thought she did. It is Junko Enoshima. Junko only 2 wins out of 17 matches this year. Looking to at least win a 6th of her matches at the end of tonight, but... Or excuse me. Oh yeah, no, it would be a 6th. A 5th. Excuse me, no, a 5th. No, 6th, yeah. Good. Excuse me. Yeah, no, this would be her 18th, so it would be a 6th. I can do math. And here we go, both women ready? And referee rings the bell. Junko immediately running towards Sakura, who hits her with a counter spear. And Sakura forcing Junko back up to her feet, tossing her into the corner, pulling her away, scooping her into the Tree of Woe. And Sakura with the ground and pound stomp to the chest. And a kick right to the spine, looking for an elbow drop. Junko gets out of the way. Drop kick to the legs does nothing. And Sakura with a lariat. And now the ground and pound stomp to the chest. And the pin, there's one. Back into the corner, Junko elbowing out, Sakura pushing her away. And now walking Junko down to the southern ropes. Knife edge chop, so working on the leg. And Sakura's sending Junko for a run. Dropped it to the thigh. Junko back up to her feet. Sakura again pushing her away. But Junko elbowing out, trying to get some control in this match. And now Sakura with a planted powerbomb into the cover. There's one. Junko kicks out at one. Another elbow drop. And the ground and pound yet again. And Junko with a dragon screw takedown. Forcing Sakura back to her feet, turning her around. And a neck breaker. Dragging Sakura away from the ropes. Going for the cover. And there's two. Sakura kicks out. Now Junko with a kick to the chest. Sending Sakura for an Irish whip over the top rope. And headed to the outside. Forcing Junko back up to her feet. Or, Junko sending Sakura back up to her feet. And back into the ring. Junko forcing Sakura back up. Over the shoulders. And a sit-out powerbomb into the cover. There's one. There's two. Sakura kicks out. Junko forcing her back up to her feet. Springboard looking for the wheelbarrow. Sakura gets out of the way. And headed back up top. Getting Junko back up to her feet. Diving axe handle punch. And an arm breaker. Sakura sending Junko for an Irish whip. Diving underneath. Jumping over the top. Arm wrap into the over the shoulder suplex, kind of, and now into an arm bar. Just trying to soften up Junko a little bit. Stomp to the chest, into the cover. There's one, there's two. Junko kicks out. And now Junko with the fire stomps. Stomp to the wrist, turning Sakura around. Face first into the canvas. And now just undoing the top turnbuckle, or the top turnbuckle pad. Sending Sakura for an Irish whip, not into the corner like she really should have. And now Junko sending Sakura tumbling over the top rope. Heading back to the outside. And now Sakura Junko having a few words for Sakura. Junko chasing down the Ultimate Martial Artist, tossing her to the side. And around the outside we go. There's 5. There's 7. Sakura looking for a suplex. Junko slipping out. And now 8. Come on, guys. Just get back inside the ring. There's 9. Sakura's back in. Junko's in. And Sakura elbowing out. And a planted choke slam into the cover. There's 1, there's 2. Junko will not kick out.
Here is your winner, Sandra O'Grady.
And Sakura ending off her season with a statement win. And Junko, she has a lot to work on in the off-season. And for our next matchup of the evening, introducing first, it is the ringleader himself, Jaren. And his opponent, representing the Dark Hour, he is the Fireman, Junpei Iori. Here we go, Jaren, Junpei. Both men ready? And referee rings the bell to meet in the middle, with Jaren immediately sending him Junpei into a, ironically enough, fireman's carry facebuster, forcing the fireman back up to his feet, into the corner, and an elbow. Jaren miscalculating that big time. Junpei forcing him back up to his feet. A springboard bulldog and a kick to the chest. Now Junpei with a double knee, or a double stomp, stomping the knees into the canvas, and forcing Jaren back up to his feet. Irish whip into the corner, kick to the chest, and again, sending Jaren down. Springboard moonsault. Into the cover, there's one. And Junpei with a crossbody to the spine. Jaren to the outside, Junpei lining up. And a spear knocking Jaren off the apron. Following him to the outside now. Wrist clutch, knee to the chest. And now Jaren fighting that off. Uppercut to the chest. Underneath the rib cage. And now a spinning back heel kick out of nowhere. Forcing Junpei back up to his feet. And a toss back into the corner. Now going for the cover. There's two. Junpei kicks out. Excuse me. And now Jaren with a running scissor kick and the cover. And there's two. Junpei gets the shoulder up. I would have been really surprised if that was a 3 count. And now a satellite DDT. Jaren just slamming the knee into the canvas, going for yet another cover. There's two. Junpei still kicks out easily. And gets out of the way of the crossbody. Using the ringleader's aggression against him. And now up over knee to the chest. And now into the gold stairs. The gold steps. Not the steel steps. Junpei forcing Jaren back up to his feet yet again. Irish whip from one side of the ring to the other. There's 5. And into the other set of steps. There's 6 now. And Jaren just has a few more seconds to get back inside the ring. Slow to his feet. Referee's at 9. And Jaren's back inside. Irish whip. Underneath. Over the top. Scoop slam backbreaker. And a kneeling DDT. Jaren to the outside, heading up top, jumping down. And another DDT spiking spiking Junpei into the canvas. Now Jaren getting Junpei back up to his feet. And completely whiffing on that. Junpei whiffing on the Bulldog. Jaren the springboard connects this time. And Junpei being speared off the apron. Jaren following to the outside, and now Junpei. Uno. Dos. Y tres. Los tres amigos. And sending Jaren back inside the ring. And the cover, there's one. Irish whip. Knee to the jaw. And the cover, there's one, two. Jaren's still kicking out. Knees to the knees to the thigh. Forcing Jaren back up to his feet. Jaren with a headbutt. And a big time facebuster. Into the cover. There's one. There's two. Junpei still kicking out. Jaren just waylaying on Junpei. Junpei fights out. Jaren catching that kick, shoving Junpei down. Elbow drop. And a kick right to the thigh. Jaren heading up top. Elbow drop. Nobody's home, though. And Junpei with a kick right to the jaw, going for the cover. Off of that reversal, there's two. Junpei. No, Jaren kicks out. Springboard moonsault to the spine. The ground and pound. And the wrist clutch stomp right to the kidneys. Clutching the wrist. Knees to the spine. And Junpei lining up a finisher. Turning Jaren around. And Jaren with reversal. And now Jaren with a hammerlock. DDT. Into the cover. There's one. There's two. And now Jaren going for the cover. There's one. There's two. And acta est fabula plaudite. I probably butchered that.
Here is your winner, Jaren.
But applaud, the match is over. And Jaren managing to come home victorious. And now for our first tag team matchup of the evening, and our first championship matchup of the evening. Introducing first, it is Kaito Momota, the luminary of the stars, and Shuichi Saihara, the big Bang Theory. And their opponents, they are your men's tag team champions, Sans and Papyrus, the Skelebros.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the men's undisputed hybrid, the tag team world championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 295 pounds, Air Boom, and their opponents at a combined weight of 250 pounds. The men's undisputed hybrid, the tag team world champions, Too Cool.
And here we go, the Skelebros handing their belts to the referee. And here we go. Kaito, Papyrus, the first two in the ring. And referee rings the bell, they meet in the middle, with Papyrus immediately sending Kaito into the corner. And a corner elbow, stepping back inside the ring, and here comes Kaito with an uppercut to the jaw. And a half-hitch knee raise, and again. Reversal after reversal. Kaito now going after Sans, tossing him into the ring, getting him in the middle of the way of a Papyrus attack. I'm not entirely sure if that was planned or if that was just pure luck. Now Kaito with a spear in the corner. And now Papyrus tossing Kaito into the ring. Kaito with the reversal. Desperate to get his hands on the belt, and quickly, as he tosses Papyrus to the outside, quickly following him to the out there. And a face plant along the outside. There's two. Now Kaito does need to be careful, because a count out will not win them the belt. There's four. And Kaito tossing Papyrus back into the ring. Papyrus tags out, Sans in. And Kaito just taking a sweet time getting back inside the ring. Accidentally kicking the referee. And Sans with a hip toss into the cover. There's 2 Kaito kicks out. Toss into the corner, tagging Papyrus back in. And a double back body drop on the tag team attack. Falling fist. And a knee strike. Papyrus forcing Kaito back up to his feet. Irish whip into the corner. Elbow to the neck. Clothesline to the back of the neck, and now Kaito taking out Shuichi's in. And Papyrus greeting him with a facebuster. And going after Kaito again, and now Shuichi with an arm breaker. Or an arm twist. Single leg drop kick off the Irish whip. Forcing Papyrus back up to his feet, turning him around. And now side control in the armbar. Papyrus flips himself out. Tagging Sans back in. Sans now up over the shoulders. Bouncing Shuichi off the top rope. Irish whip to the corner. Irish whip into the corner, excuse me. Tagging Papyrus back in. Another tag team attack. This time hammer punch to the spine. And now the cover. There's 1. Shuichi tags out. And now Shuichi trying to knock Papyrus off the top rope, and does. Now Shuichi forcing Papyrus up top. And sending him down with an arm. Into the cover. There's 1, there's 2. And now Irish whip on the tag team attack. And now Shuichi sending Papyrus into the corner. Scoop. Into the Tree of Woe. And a double knee backstabber. Now Papyrus sending Kaito for an Irish whip. Spinning turnstile elbow, tagging Sans back in. Now Sans with a running clothesline. Irish whip. And Kaito fights his way out. Irish whip into the corner. Knife edge chop, tagging Shuichi back in. And another tag team attack. Hammer punch to the arm. And now Shuichi sending Sans for another Irish whip. Big boot into the cover. There's one. Papyrus breaks it up. Advantage Big Bang Theory. And now Shuichi bouncing Sans off the referee. Suplex. Tagging Kaito in. Now Sans disappearing to the outside. I don't think bringing Papyrus into the ring is necessarily a smart idea, Kaito. Toss into the corner. Clothesline sending him away. Neckbreaker, but that's the wrong person. Kaito, what the hell are you doing? Taking the steel of the turnbuckle to the sternum. And now Sans with an armbar. Pulling back. Kaito fighting out. Papyrus forced to leave the ring. And now Kaito the crossbody. Allowing Sans to tag out. Yeah, Kaito, that was probably one of the dumbest things you could have done in that entire sequence. Corkscrew moonsault from Papyrus going for the cover. Shuichi breaks it up. And Kaito with a reversal, sending Papyrus into the corner, now just tagging in Shuichi. Shuichi just bouncing off of Papyrus not once but twice. And now a stunner. Kind of. Irish whip. Diving underneath. Jumping over the top. Looking for a single leg drop kick. Papyrus steps out of the way. And now a chicken wing facebuster. Shuichi up to his feet faster. Double leg dropkick to the chest. And now Irish whip into the corner. Tagging in Kaito. And a tag team suplex. Kaito going for the cover. Bringing in Sans. Advantage back to BBT. Kaito tossing Papyrus back into the corner. Kick to the ankle. And Papyrus the reversal. Irish whip. Elbows to the jawline. And a kick right to the calf. And now tossed to the corner. And now Papyrus just tagging Sans back in, resetting the advantage. Kaito elbows out. Tossing Sans into the corner, knife edge chop. Sans gets out of the way of that grapple. And now Kaito just keeping him in the corner. More knife edge chops, tagging in Shuichi yet again. Another tag team attack. And now Shuichi, that would have been the time to go for a cover. What's up with Big Bang Theory and just not understanding how to go for pins when the opportunity is like golden? And now Shuichi with the ground and pound, but just staying along the outside. Each second wasted is a second in favor of the Skelebros. And if Sans were smart, he would stay along the outside. There's 6. There's 7. Referee trying to get Sans back inside the ring. Honestly, it would behoove him not to. There's 9, and there's 10. Big Bang Theory is going to win the match, but because they can't go for pins, the Skelebros retain. And now for our next matchup of the evening. Introducing first. She is the ultimate swimmer.
Is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Japan,
It is Aoi Asahina. And her opponent.
And from Stillwater,
It is Pandoria. And here we go, both women, ready? Ref rings the bell. Meet in the middle. With Hina immediately tossing Pandy into the corner, stomped to the chest. And Pandoria catching that. But, Hina with a kick that finds its way through yet again. Now Pandoria just using the rope as leverage. Trying to turn Hina around, but Hina with an elbow. Pandoria grabbing her from behind. And a jumping facebuster. Pandoria with an arm breaker. And now heading up top, staring down. The ultimate swimmer diving, flying forearm. Now going for an early cover. There's one, Hina kicks out. Pandoria back up to her feet, both women looking for jumps. And both women missing. Irish whip to the outside. And a double leg drop kick. Now Pandoria up top. Flying forearm. And now Pandy just working on the leg. There's 3. And a toss back inside the ring. Pandoria just taking her sweet time, climbing in, but just wasting so much time, allowing Hina to get back up to her feet. And a single leg, or a single shoulder suplex. Hina forcing Pandoria back up to her feet, spinning back heel kick in the corner. And the cover, there's 1, 2, Pandoria kicks out. And now Hina lining up a finisher already, over the shoulders. Revolute knee strike into the cover. There's 1, there's 2, and Pandoria kicks out just before 3. Hina up top. Getting Pandoria back to her feet. And Pandoria just stepping out of the way. Getting Hina up to her feet now. And a somersault flip, backbreaker, whatever. There's 2, Hina kicks out. I still don't know what the name of that move actually is. Now Pandoria just bouncing Hina between her elbow and the ropes. And a front flip lariat. Pandoria still just wasting a little bit too much time, allowing Hina back up to her feet. Irish whip. An arm drag flip. Kick to the chest. And now Hina to the outside, heading up top. And a head scissor roll up from the top rope. There's 2, Pandoria kicks out. And just stepping in the ring underneath Hina. Now crawling back to the outside after her. Neck breaker. Now Pandoria just sending Hina face first into the steel apron. There's 4. And Hina with an arm breaker. Standing moonsault. There's 5. Pandoria gets out of the way of the stomp. And a wheelbarrow facebuster along the outside. There's 6. They need to be careful. There's 7. Tossing Hina back inside the ring, quickly following just before 8. Power whip into the corner. Hina elbows out of the corner. Kick to the chest, DDT, spiking. And a springboard RKO into the cover. There's one, there's two. Pandoria still kicks out. Hina forcing her back up to her feet, spinning back heel kick. And Pandoria slow to her feet, but back up to her feet nonetheless. And Hina with a Pele kick. Dragging Pandy away from the ropes. And the cover, there's one, there's two, there's three.
Here is your winner, Ali Hina.
Pandoria having so many opportunities that match. Just could not capitalize. And Hina was there to pick up the pieces. That's really all it came down to. And now for our second tag team matchup of the evening. Introducing your challengers. It is Devla and Popola, the Gestalt Sisters. These two, a team just quietly in the background, picking up wins. And yeah, here they are. Like, they aren't the number 1 or 2 team in the division, but they're still absolutely title contenders. And their opponents. It is on Takamaki and Haro Okumura, your women's tag team champions, the Diamonds.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's Undisputed Impact, the Tag Team World Championship. Introducing the challengers, Damage Control. And their opponents, the Women's Undisputed Impact, the Tag Team World Champions, Diamond Mine.
Here we go. Both teams ready. Here we go. Devil and Haru, the first in the ring. Ref rings bell. Devil immediately sending Haru into the corner. Kick to the chest. And Haru elbowing out. Running neck breaker. And a release suplex. And a wheelbarrow facebuster. Just smashing the knee into the canvas. Look for a crossbody. Devil gets out of the way. Now Devil is sending Haru to the outside. Humbling to the outside. And just spearing on off the apron. And tagging in Popola. Haru's in, but now Popola immediately with a Fez press. Forcing her back up to her feet. Spinning back heel kick. And now a headlock. Popola forcing Haru back up to her feet. Irish whip into the corner. And tagging in Devil up. Taking her back in. Irish whip. Double back by drop. On the tag team attack. Now Devil turning Haru around. Knee to the jaw. Clothesline to the chest. And an Irish whip just keeping her in the corner. Doesn't seem to be much that Haru can do. There's an Irish whip. Or not an Irish whip. An alley-oop powerbomb. And a 2 count. Tagging Popola back in. And a big boot on the tag team attack. Popola just bouncing the head off the canvas. Forcing Haru back up to her feet. And Haru finally with the reversal. Setting Popola up, running her from one corner to the other. And again. Over the shoulder and a powerbomb. Now tagging in Han for the first time today. Panther forcing up Popola. Tossing her into the corner. And the Hangman. Tossing her into the corner, now a Showtime attack. Irish whip, double shoulder tackle. And the tides of war have shifted, and they have shifted quickly. Haru tagging Panther immediately back in. Popola slow to her feet, and Panther trying to knock her back down to her to the mat. Now Irish whip into the corner, tagging in Devila. Double knees from Devila. Turning on around, knee to the jaw, clothesline again. Forcing Panther back up to her feet. And an Irish whip. Devil tossing her aside. Roll through in the corner. And just preventing a tag out. And on, sending Devil into the corner. Uppercut, tossing her aside. And the helicopter spin. Into the cover, not even a 1 count. Panther taking Devil down, repositioning herself. And tagging Haru back in. Devil gets out of the way of that kick. And now Haru forcing her up over the shoulder. Bouncing Devil off the top turnbuckle. Kick to the chest. Spinning takedown, forcing Devil back up to her feet, tossing her into the Diamond's corner. And tagging it on for yet another Showtime attack. Middle rope. Stomp right to the exposed knee. And now Popola coming in to save her sister. But things are quickly falling apart for the Gestalt Sisters. When have I heard that before? When have I heard things not going well for Devil and Popola? Never. They're like the Kennedys. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Nothing bad ever happens to Devil and Popola. Devil kick to the chest, tagging in her sister, looking for another tag team attack. And again, just the double knees this time from Popola. And Panther tags out behind her back. Low altitude kick though from Popola. And now way too focused on Panther. And now going for the cover. As she sends on to deal with sends on into the corner to be dealt with by her sister. Now Popola sending Haru to the outside. And now a tag team attack against Panther for no reason, even though Panther isn't the legal woman. And now Devil going for the cover. Only one. Because they gave Haru way too much time to recover. Irish whip. Devil completely distracted by Panther. This is why you don't bring in the partner voluntarily into the ring. And now another Showtime attack that really should not have happened. Standing submission hold. Devil immediately gets out. Big boot. Haru steps underneath. But Devil with a DDT. Not even going for the cover, just tagging in Popola. Alright. Popola with an Irish whip. Pop up. Enziguri. Again, not going for the cover. Just tossing Haru into the corner, tagging her sister back in. Again, just the double knees. Devil, go for the cover. Nope. And somehow that counts as a tag because Devil has no idea how to go for a pin. Wait, does she even realize who the legal partner is? I don't think she does. Why are you voluntarily going on a 2-on-1? Allow Haru to get herself out of the ring. It will make life so much easier for you. Working on the ankle. Forcing Devila back up to her feet. Toss into the corner and another Showtime attack that, let's be honest, probably shouldn't have happened. If the Gestalt Sisters just weren't constantly shooting themselves in the foot. Haru with a running double knee backstabber, Popeline to break it up. And if the Gestalt Sisters want to have any chance of winning this match now, they really need to brush up on just like the basic rules of tag team. Because I don't know why they've forgotten them. And Haru can literally just spend all the time right now along the outside because, again, just like in the match between the Big Bang Theory and the Skelebros, a countout favors the champions. Devila looking for a finisher. The Blitz combo into the cover, bringing on in, and now neither team with an advantage. Now would be the perfect time to tag in Popeline. Well, yeah, tag in Popeline and go for a tag team attack. Okay, into the corner, but Devlin not going for the tag team attack, instead just sending Haru up in the Tree of Woe. Forcing Haru back up to her feet, trapping her in the corner again, tagging in Popeline. And fourth time? Now Popeline not going for the cover, instead hyping up the crowd with the People's Elbow, one of the most electrifying moves in all of professional wrestling, and still not going for the cover. Why would you not go for a cover in that position? Haru gets out of the way of the knee, but there's a big boot from Popeline. Haru elbows out of the grapple. Popeline with the reversal. Neckbreaker. Tagging Devila back in. Keeping the advantage in their corner. Another tag team attack here from the Gestalt Sisters. Really turning it on at the end of this match. Double back by drop, still not going for the pin. Now we are. After a completely unnecessary arm breaker, allowing Haru just that little bit of recovery. And now a flatliner. Popeline not going for the cover, instead taking in Devila. Why would you not? Why would you literally not go for a pin in that position? You had the win in the palm of your hands, and you purposefully flipped your hand to drop it. And now you're allowing Haru back into this match. You're allowing the Diamonds back into this match. You had a golden, nay, platinum opportunity to get the titles back. You didn't squander it. You purposefully just sold it for pennies on the Benjamin. Haru tags out on back in. Elbow drop from the heavens. Corkscrew moonsault from On, going for the cover. Popola watching On as On gets the cover.
Here are your winners, and still women's undisputed Impact, the tag team world champions, Diamond Mine.
Popola, Devila, do you see what happens when you go for the pin attempt in a perfect opportunity? What? Come on, like, guys, what are you doing? And for our next matchup of the evening,
The following contest is a triple threat match and is for the men's undisputed hybrid universal championship. Introducing the challenger from Authority Megacorp HQ, weighing in at 300 pounds, the engineer, Dr.
and now introducing first for this triple threat championship matchup, it is Dr. Ivo Robotnik, Dr. Eggman. And for the second challenger,
And introducing the challenger from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 225 pounds.
he is your former men's Universal Champion, and actually winning the belt here last year against Reyn. It is the Lone Wolf, Zenkichi Hasegawa. And their opponent, excuse me, he is your men's Universal Champion,
From Japan,
Nekomaru Nidai.
that's 68 pounds. The men's undisputed hybrid universal champion, Coach Nekomaru.
Here we go, the belt back on the line. All three men ready. And here we go, referee rings bell. Eggman and Nekomaru meeting in the middle of the ring. Wolf just kind of watching. Now Eggman elbowing Wolf. Elbow to the spine. And a facebuster. And now just bouncing Nekomaru off of him. And a headbutt. Nekomaru with a clothesline. Eggman now. Shaken wing. Power slam. Nekomaru forcing Eggman back up to his feet. The combo, and now Wolf grabbing Nekomaru from behind, double knees to the spine, going for the pin, only one. Now an elbow sends Nekomaru down. And now a double team opportunity, Eggman and Nekomaru against Zenkichi. And Eggman with the reversal. Bouncing Wolf off of him. And now just running around like a human wrecking ball. Finally sent down by Nekomaru. And Eggman just tossing Nekomaru over the top rope. And now Wolf sending Eggman into the corner. Going after the champion. Never mind, going underneath the ring, and Nekomaru just putting a stop to that. Now all three men to the outside. Nekomaru with a power slam. Eggman bouncing Nidai off of him. Now Nekomaru just tossing Eggman into the corner. Heading underneath the ring for the first towards a kendo stick and just tossing the kendo stick at Eggman. And Wolf and Nekomaru just closing in on Eggman. Wolf with a lariat. And now a double team against the champion. Knife edge chops right across the throat. Knees to the spine from Eggman. Zenkichi just elbowing out of the grapple. No one can really get like a lasting advantage right now. Nekomaru forcing Eggman up over the shoulder. Power slam down, but now Wolf with a running scissor kick. Up, over, Eggman slipping out. Now Nekomaru with a clothesline to the back of the neck. And a scissor kick. And now a jumping reverse RKO from Eggman, going for the cover. Referee kind of in position. There's two. Now Nekomaru trying to pick up the pieces, only one. Eggman forcing Nekomaru up. Over the shoulder and a suplex. Now both men to the outside. Eggman heading underneath the ring, pick up a baseball bat. And now just throwing it at Nekomaru at point blank and missing. Eggman just creating a little bit of distance for that clothesline. Tossing Nekomaru back into the ring, trying to go after Wolf again. Now Wolf just walking Eggman, trying to get him back into the ring. Eggman again underneath the ring, this time up with a sledgehammer. Nekomaru just tossing Wolf back into the ring. And now Eggman with a sledgehammer right to the thigh. And again, just slamming it down on Zenkichi. Nekomaru tossing Eggman back inside the ring. Wolf tossing Nekomaru back inside the ring and now picking up the bat. And now Wolf with a sleeper hold and Nekomaru breaks it up. And now a small package driver. Wolf back up to his feet, rolling out of the way. Looking for a Wolfsbane powerbomb, but Nekomaru with the reversal. Now belly-to-belly suplex against Eggman. Double A dropkick from the top rope from Wolf. Meets the chest. Facebuster from Nekomaru. Now Nekomaru going for the cover right in front of Eggman. There's one, there's two. Wolf kicks out. Eggman walking Zenkichi to the north east corner. Scoop slam from Nekomaru. And there's a clothesline from behind, and now Wolf going for the Wolf's Bane powerbomb. And connects, slamming Eggman right into the bat. Going for the cover, there's one, there's two, there's Nekomaru breaking it up. Now a side slam from the champion. Here comes Eggman though. Forcing Nekomaru up over the shoulders, bouncing him off the top turnbuckle, going for the cover. Wolf's gonna break it up. Wolf with a flying forearm. Now just working the arm against the top rope. Eggman picking up a bat, just dropping it immediately though. There's a neck breaker. Into a side slam from Zenkichi, going for the cover. There's two, and again, Nekomaru breaks it up. And now the champion just tossing Zenkichi over. Working on Eggman now. Power slam. Into the cover. There's two. There's three.
Here is your winner, and still men's undefeated hybrid universal champion, Coach Nekomaru.
And with a match like that to end the year, I really don't think that belt's changing hands anytime soon. Even next year, I don't think the belt's going to change hands that easily. And now for our next matchup of the evening. It is a steel cage match. Introducing first, he is your former Mr. Money in the Bank, former Mr. Universal Champion,
Making his way to the ring from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 155 pounds, Akane.
it is Shinjiro Aragaki. And I say steel cage match, it's a no escape steel cage match. Basically an MMA match.
And his opponent, representing the Brotherhood from Japan, weighing in at 168 pounds, Mondo, bad boy, Omega!
And his opponent, representing the Ultimate Brotherhood, it is Mondo Owada. Here we go, steel cage, lowering around our two competitors. As Shinjiro immediately begins with a running clothesline, sending Mondo into the corner. Now a single arm scoop slam. Knee to the side of the head, but Mondo just kind of brushing that aside. Pull back shoulder tackle. And now Mondo with the ground and pound. Trapping the arm, stomping on the hand. Now a knee smash and the ground and pound. Stomp to the wrist. Wrist clutch stomps to the chest. Now her kicks to the chest. And an elbow to the side of the head. And Shinjiro with the reversal, just slamming the elbows down into Mondo's neck. And there's an elbow drop. Sending Mondo on a run. And a face plant. Or face drop. Shinjiro rolling Mondo around. And basically to win this match, you just need to knock out your opponent or make them tap out. There's no escape, there's no pinfalls. Like I said, it's basically MMA. A face plant, or face drop rather. And Shinjiro just stomping on the arm, forcing Mondo up over his shoulders again. Another drop. And looking to do it one more time. And Mondo still in this. Shinjiro turning him around. Mondo with a reversal. And a swinging neck breaker. Shinjiro with a reversal. Mondo regaining control though. Irish whip. And a back by drop. Walking Shinjiro to the southern ropes. Knife edge chop. So working on the leg. And now a DDT from Mondo. Elbow to the side of the head. And Mondo with the ground and pound. Stomp to the chest. And again, but Shinjiro with a reversal. Shinjiro forcing Mondo up to his feet by his neck. And now just walking him to the middle of the ring. Pendulum backbreaker, and again. And a final ride, but we're not quite done. And now Shinjiro with a headlock. Mondo immediately fighting out. Turning Shinjiro around. Single knee neck breaker. Now Mondo up top. Diving knee to the sternum. Now Mondo just cranking on the neck. Shinjiro fighting out. Sending Mondo headfirst into the turnbuckle. And a power slam to put it away.
Here is your winner, Series of Akane.
Now, are we really surprised with how Shinjiro started that match? Yeah, no, there was no way he was losing that. And for our next matchup of the evening, introducing first, from the underground, it is Undyne.
Japan, Akane
And her opponent, it is Akane Owari. Here we go, both of them ready. And referee rings the bell to meet in the middle. With Akane immediately beginning with the offense. There's a neck breaker. Springboard double leg drop kick. And Akane forcing Undyne back up to her feet. Irish whip into the corner, over the top rope. And a hot shot, knocking her off. Akane with a spiral tap to the outside. And Undyne with the reversal. Tossing Akane into the barricade. There's two. Stomp to the ankle. And now referee count at 5. Undyne tossing Akane back inside the ring, following her back in. And Undyne catching that kick. Just an elbow to the thigh. And a turnaround clothesline. And now Undyne with a half-hitch knee raises. Stomp to the stomach, to the chest. And a corner alley-oop powerbomb. Undyne up top. And looking for a crossbody. Akane catching that, turning that into a power slam. And a stomp to the face. Akane with a single leg drop kick. Going for the cover. There's 1, 2. Undyne kicks out. And a backflip elbow drop into the cover. There's 1, there's 2. Undyne still kicks out. Sending Undyne for an Irish whip, diving underneath. And a belly to back suplex into the cover. Again, only 2. Undyne with an arm drag. Forcing Akane back up to her feet. Pull back and knee to the gut. And the spaghetti elbow drop. Now Undyne looking for the monster's elbow. Connects. Kind of gets out of the way of that kick. Now up over the shoulders. Bouncing Undyne off the top rope. Undyne kicking Akane off of her. Spinning back heel kick to the stomach. Now Akane forcing Undyne up. Power slam. Akane looking for the double leg Pele kick. Undyne just steps out of the way. Now dragging Akane away from the ropes. And now going for the cover. There's one. There's two. And a double leg drop kick. Another spaghetti elbow drop from Undyne. Moonsault, but nobody is home. Akane with a double leg Pele kick. And a corkscrew splash. Did that connect? I genuinely have no idea. Both women look devastated after that attack. But Undyne more than Akane. Akane heading up top. Undyne to her feet. Running facebuster. And an arm breaker. And now a fish hook submission maneuver. Akane slips out. And stifled. Neck breaker into the cover from Undyne. There's one, there's two, there's three.
Here is your winner, the unrelenting Reyn.
And Undyne ending off the season with an emphatic victory. And now for our final tag team matchup of the season. It is a mixed gender tag match. And introducing first, it is Rex.
Introducing first, representing the Disciples of Darkness from Elysian Fields, weighing in at 115 pounds, Rex.
And his partner.
And his partner, representing the Sheik from Elysian Fields, Owada.
Representing the double-edged blades, it is Pyra. And now for their opponents.
And representing the Creed brothers from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 128 pounds, Yosef Anna Muta.
Introducing first, it is Yosuke Hanamura. And his partner,
The Lucha Dragons from Tokyo, Japan, CA.
representing the Twin Dragons, it is Chie Sadanaka. Here we go. Rex and Yosuke first in the ring. And Yosuke immediately tossing Rex into the corner, uppercut, back elbow, and just sending him into the turnbuckle. And a tiger feint. Now jumping back inside the ring. Irish whip now to the southwest corner. Rex pushing him away. Yosuke just working on the arm. Wrist clutch, top rope arm drag. And stomp to the upper arm. Rex tagging out. Now the women are in the ring. Chie with a wheelbarrow DDT. Stomp to the wrist. And now pull back into a submission hold that Pyra immediately gets out of. Irish whip pop-up face buster. And now Chie with an uppercut, forcing Pyra back up to her feet. And a head scissor takedown. Cranking on the neck. Elbow to the chest. And now Chie tags out. The men are back in. Yosuke with a wheelbarrow DDT into an arm breaker. Now Yosuke heading up top. Crossbody. Into the pin. There's one. There's two. Pyra breaks it up. Yosuke tossing Rex into the corner. Now corner running Bulldog. Tagging Chie back in now. The women are back inside. Chie with a single leg dropkick. And a kneeling DDT. Bottom rope moonsault. Pyra gets out of the way. Forcing Chie up over the shoulders, and Chie elbowing herself out. Now stomps the thigh. Pyra walking back to the corner, tagging in Rex. The men are back in. Yosuke elbow to the spine, Irish whip. Scoop slam, pendulum backbreaker. Now Yosuke up top. Oh, crossbody, but nobody home. Now Irish whip. Diving underneath, jumping over the top. And a trip. And now Rex going for the cover. There's one. Yosuke kicks out. Rex with a kneeling DDT. Grabbing the arm of Yosuke, and there's an arm breaker. Forcing Yosuke back up to his feet. Irish whip, diving underneath. Jumping over the top. And a Pele kick. They're just wrapping the arm around the top rope. Knife edge chop across the chest. And now middle rope moonsault. Yosuke gets out of the way. And there's a leg DDT. Tagging Chie back in. Wheelbarrow DDT from Chie. Into the cover. There's one, there's only one. Or there's two, excuse me. It was an early, very early 2 count, though. Double leg drop kick from Chie. And now a springboard enziguri. Elbow sends Pyra down. And dragging Pyra away from the ropes. Kicks to the chest. And now a cyclone kick. Into the cover. Here comes Rex for moral support. Pyra kicks out at 2. And now Chie tagging and Yosuke in for some reason. Rex elbowing out. Kick to the chest. Now, here's the pin. Chie breaks it up at 1. Turning Yosuke around and now just tagging Pyra back in. Wheelbarrow DDT from Chie. I have no idea why Rex tagged in Pyra even though he was clearly on the advantage. Although we've seen earlier today that, you know, the tag team AI in this game doesn't exactly follow, you know, standard logic. Now Chie tags out, allowing Yosuke back inside the ring. Yosuke with a roll through into the cover. There's a 1, 2. Rex kicks out. And now Yosuke head scissor Hurricane Rana into the cover. There's 2. Rex kicks out. And now Yosuke forcing Rex back up to his feet. Head scissor Hurricane Rana yet again. And now heading up top. Thought he was tagging out for some reason. And a crossbody. Forcing Rex back up to his feet. Still not quite done. Into the corner. Double leg drop kick. And now tags in Chie. Chie with a single leg drop kick against Pyra. And now Pyra with an arm breaker. Stomp to the upper arm, forcing Chie back up. And a neck breaker. And now Pyra with a submission hold. Chie immediately gets out of. And Pyra elbowing out of the grapple. Irish whip. Flying elbow into the cover. Yosuke in for moral support. There's 2. Chie kicks out. And now Pyra, even though she was clearly on the advantage, tags out. And now Yosuke with a wheelbarrow DDT. Referee giving Chie no time to leave the ring. And now Yosuke with a finisher. Fireball punch. And why did you not go for the pin immediately? There's 1 and there's Pyra to break it up. And let me guess, Yosuke is going to tag out for literally no reason. Rex with a reversal turnstile elbow. Arm breaker, and now, yep, Rex tags out. Now Chie dragging Pyra away from the ropes. Forcing her back up to her feet. The hurricane kick into the cover. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Here are your winners.
And weirdly enough, Yosuke and Chie able to be a team for more than 5 minutes? Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of miscommunication between the two constantly during that match, but somehow not what I was expecting. I was expecting these two to implode immediately. Not come out on top against Rex and Pyra. And now for our next matchup of the evening. Introducing first, it is the Blue Jay himself, Jaden Moon.
From Wisconsin, weighing in at 132 pounds, Jaden Moore.
And his opponent, it is the one, the only, Sir Bones.
Weighing in at 100 pounds, gentlemen,
Both of these men having pretty decent seasons this year. I'll check. Okay, never mind. Bones, yeah, I mean, he had a decent season. Not quite as good as I thought it was. We're looking to end off the season on a high note. And here we go, both men, excuse me. Both men ready? And referee rings the bell. Bones immediately running towards Jaden, hitting him with a scissor kick. Rolling Jaden around. And now grabbing the foot. There's a foot DDT or leg DDT. Jaden back up to his feet. Immediately accosted by Bones. Springboard flying forearm. And forcing Jaden back up to his feet. Over the shoulders. Knee to the chest. And now a foot DDT. Really work on the legs, especially considering that Jaden is a bit of a kickboxer. If you take away that, you basically take away his entire offense. Jaden with an Irish whip. Jumping over the top, diving underneath. And a double foot stomp. Head, scissor, elbow. And now the stomps. Flying knee. And now Jaden forcing Bones back up to his feet. Bones with the reversal though. Irish whip over the top rope. And now just slamming the spine into the steel apron. And now face first. Jaden with the reversal. Flying knee. And forcing Bones back up to his feet. Tossing him into the corner, just climbing back inside the ring. There's 4. Bones does have a little bit of time left. But it's quickly running out. Jaden with a flying back elbow out of nowhere, nearly landing in the audience. I was not expecting that at all. Pullback elbow, standing shooting star press into the cover. Jaden kicks out before the 1 count. Talk about just putting it all on the line at the very end. Saving the best for last. Flying elbow from Bones off the springboard. And forcing Jaden back up to his feet. Irish whip, arm drag, a cartwheel drop kick. And now Bones heading up top. Corkscrew 540 splash into the cover. There's 1, there's 2. Jaden barely kicks out. A near fall, but not a fall. Bones forcing the Blue Jay back up to his feet. Irish whip. Jaden getting the knee up. And Bones with a scoop slam. Kick to the spine. And now just walking the Blue Jay to the northwest corner. Pulling him away, scoop slam. Into the cover. There's 2. Jaden kicks out. And now the Bones staring down at his opponent. Head, scissor, elbow. And Jaden with a reversal, tossing him into the corner, but Bones with a reversal right back. Jaden trying to get back on the offense. Bones over the shoulders, Jaden elbowing out. Top rope crossbody. And yeah, you can probably tell that these are 2 of the most cerebral superstars in the men's division. I would say Nagito's up there as well. Or at least in the men's cruiserweight division. I would say it's Jaden, Bones, and Nagito. They're the cerebral ones. And you can definitely tell that here. There's 5. Now Jaden just with a nice little taunt, resetting the count. Not entirely sure what the plan is there, other than just not wanting to win by countout. Knee to the, well, I would say nose, but, you know, being a skeleton, he doesn't really have a nose. And now right into the gold steps. There's 3. There's 4. Jaden slowed to his feet. There's 5. And now just slowly making his way back in. Getting rid of the knee. Backflip into a suplex. And now Bones over the shoulders, Jaden slipping out. And now tossing Bones outside, triangle drop kick. Backpack neck breaker from the Bones. Stomp to the spine. And now head, scissor, elbow. There's 3. And a toss back inside the ring. There's 4. Crossbody, nobody's home. Now Jaden making his way to the ropes. Double leg drop kick. And now the head scissor elbow. These two men just love a nice ground game. And now Jaden lining up a finisher. Tornado kick, looking to put this one away. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Here is your winner, Jaden
And after an absolute battle between these two, I don't think Bones really should be disappointed in that loss. Well fought between the two of them, but one person had to win, and that person flying high is the Blue Jay.
The following contest is a tables match and is for the Women's Undisputed Hybrid Universal Championship.
And now a tables match, because why not? Introducing first,
From Japan, the Engineer Uniforms Maid.
she is your former Miss Money in the Bank, former Miss Universal Champion, former Miss Cruiserweight Champion. It is the Ultimate Adventure, Mew motherfucking Iruma. Her words, not mine. And her opponent, she is your women's Universal Champion.
And introducing the champion,
It is A2.
the Women's Undisputed Hybrid Universal Champion, A2.
And here we go, both women ready. And we don't even need a bell to start this match. A2 just immediately running towards Mew. And now Mew kicks out of the grapple. And like I said, this is a tables match, so first person to put their opponent through a table wins. It's pretty simple. Now kick to the chest, stomp to the back of the head. And again. And again. A2 looking like Bayonetta up there. Now setting up the table, tossing it into the ring, looking to put this one away super quick. And now Miu heading underneath the ring, picking out a kendo stick. And if I'm reading the audience correctly, they want us to go to IKEA, because apparently we need more tables. Now the question, do the announcer's booth count as tables? I don't think they do. Miu sending A2 back inside the ring. Setting her up along the northern ropes. Maybe trying to toss her to the table along the outside, and that was quick.
Here is your winner, and new women's undisputed hybrid universal champion, the engineer, beautiful May Iron.
Miu not even breaking a sweat, just picking up A2, tossing over the top rope, through the table along the outside, and well, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-minute match.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Women's Undisputed Hybrid Cruiserweight Championship.
And for our next matchup of the evening, introducing first, representing the investigation squad. She's been here many times before, and each time failed to get her hand raised at the end of the match. It is the detective prince herself, Naoto Shirogane. And her opponent, she is your women's Cruiserweight champion after defeating Sophie last month at Jailbreak. She is the Plague Doctor, Lexibor.
Introducing the challenger from Kobe, Japan, the Prince Nomi Shibata. Mexico, the women's undisputed hybrid cruiserweight champion, Lexibor.
And here we go, Lexi handing the belt over to the referee. Showing it to Naoto, showing it to the world. And here we go, our final women's matchup of the season. And ref rings bell to meet in the middle. No theatrics. Lexi with a flying forearm off the springboard. Naoto slow to her feet. And Lexi with a hip attack. Pull back, knee to the gut. Now just stomping on the arm. Stomp to the thigh, and now Naoto with a reversal. Kick to the leg. Turning Lexi around. Lexi with a nice reversal with a back elbow. Now Naoto just sending Lexi to the outside. And the punches to the chest. And now to the outside. Every second out here is sort of an advantage to Lexi, considering that she's the champion. Although I would say early on, there's really no advantage, because you can just head back in at the count of 5 and, you know, nothing really happened. But once you get to those higher numbers, like, 7, 8, 9, then the champion's advantage becomes massive. Naoto climbing back into the ring, although she really shouldn't be in there. There's 7. I mean, Lexi could have stayed out there if she wanted, but, well, what fun is a count out? What fun is winning, maintaining the championship by losing by a count out? Kick to the chest. I mean, if you're The Miz, maybe, but, I mean, both of these people actually have integrity. There's one and only one. Is that like the first? No, that's not the first time I brought up a real wrestler in this series. Doesn't happen often though. Naoto with a nice knee smash. Kick to the shoulder. Knee to the gut. And now Naoto forcing Lexi back up from the wrist. Chicken wing takedown into a Fujiwara armbar. Trying for the rare submission win. And Lexi fights out. Although, let's be honest, if Lexi didn't, Naoto would have just released the hold anyway, because, it's illegal to win via submission in this game. Naoto with the reversal with a hot shot. And lining up a finisher early on. And Lexi fighting it off. Uppercut right underneath the rib cage. Naoto pulling her away. Lexi with a nice back elbow reversal and a Superman punch to boot. Into the cover, there's one. Naoto kicks out. And now, here we go, tuning up the band for some sweet chin music. And the cover, there's 2. Naoto kicks out. And I punch my mic. Those 2 things are not related. Lexi with a tornado kick. Into the cover. There's 1, there's 2, and Naoto kicks out. Close. Snap mirror kick to the spine. And now an elbow right to the back of the neck. Would that be the cervical spine? I need to be careful saying that because I know like something really close is something really different. And, well, I would hate to... Well, no, I couldn't be hit there because I don't have one, but... I would hate to see somebody be hit there. Anyway, enough about anatomy. Naoto with a clothesline in the corner. Yeah, welcome to the channel where it's, you know, half the time just me talking about random shit and half the time me being ADHD. And Naoto with a running big boot, sending Lexi over the top rope. Lexi rolling back in. And Naoto with a flying springboard forearm going for the cover. There's 1 and only 1. Naoto forcing Lexi back up to her feet, trying to at least break her curse. Superman punch of her own. And the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Getting closer. Both women now at 2 counts. There's a moonsault from the middle rope. And lining up yet another finisher. Rolling Russian leg sweep. There's 2. And Naoto Shirogane, you are finally a champion.
Here is your winner, and new women's undefeated hybrid cruiserweight champion, the Prince Owada.
And you can tell the exasperation on her face. She did not expect to be here at the end of the night. And she was given the script. She was told that she was gonna lose. But, surprise, Naoto. You are a Cruiserweight champion. Heading into the offseason as a Cruiserweight champion, so you won't be able to defend this year, but a champion nonetheless. The curse is over. Let's see how long you can hold on to this.
The following contest is a 2 out of 3 falls match and is for the men's undisputed Impact Cruiserweight Championship.
And now, undoubtedly, the biggest match of the year. Introducing first, it is the challenger. He's been here before. He's been training for this for the past 2 months, I would say. It is Akihiko Sanada. Why this is not the main event, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. It's because of the Royal Rumble winner match next, but This is literally main event material right here. It's a shame it's not. But this is why this is why the audience is here. This very match. And his opponent. 27 wins, 0 losses, only being pinned once this year, and that was against, well, Akihiko. And that was his 7-1 Iron Man match victory at, I believe it was Summer SmackDown. He is your men's Cruiserweight champion, the perfect Goro Akechi. Looking to make it 28-0. Trying to do what Tom Brady could not. Going an entire season undefeated.
Introducing the challenger from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 141 pounds, Akira Shibata. And his opponent from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 145 pounds, the men's undisputed Impact Cruiserweight champion, Gordon Alexi.
Here we go. Akechi handing the belt over to the referee for one final time this year. And at the end of these, I'm going to call it 3. I'm calling it 3 pinfalls. One of these men will be, well, yeah, obviously one of these men will be coming out of the match holding the belt. I was trying to be dramatic, whatever. Referee rings the bell and Akechi immediately runs towards Akihiko with a big boot and a flying forearm. Akihiko getting out of the way, sending Akechi for a run into the corner. And just wrapping the arm around the top rope. Then turning Akechi around. Setting him up top for an avalanche kick to the jaw. Akihiko to the outside now, heading up top. Getting Akechi up to his feet, flying single leg drop kick. And both of these men shot out of cannons. Wrist clutch. Knee to the spine. And now the ground and pound. Stomp to the chest. And the pin to go for the lead, only one. I was not expecting much. And now a blitz combo. And Akechi with an arm breaker. Rolling Akihiko onto his back. And Akihiko smartly rolling to the outside. And after last night's match between Mitsuru and Makoto, I still haven't really gotten an answer about what would happen in a falls count, or not a falls count anymore, in a 2 out of 3 falls if you get counted out in a championship match. Like, does the champion retain? Does it matter if the challenger got a pin? I don't know. Double knees into the canvas. And now Akechi being walked to the northwest corner. Irish whip turnstile elbow sending Akechi down. Going for the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Superman punch. And now Akihiko lining up a finisher. Kick to the chest. Small package flip. Into the forearm and the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Still tied. Still at zeros. And now half hitch knee raises. Akiko heading up top. Diving knee. But Akechi gets back up to his feet. Looking to come back with the clotheslines. And now Akechi with the drive-by. Into the cover, there's 1, there's 2, we're still only at zeros. Now Akiko forcing Akechi back up to his feet, kick to the jaw. And the ground and pound. Middle rope crossbody. Akechi gets out of the way. Turning Akechi turning Akiko around. Snake bite. Into the cover. There's 2. Akiko kicks out. And now the fire stomps. Wrist clutch knee strike. Akechi trying to swing the tide of this match back into his favor. And so far doing a decent job. And I was a little bit nervous that I jinxed that, but no. A nice suicide leg drop, or a suicide, leg drop. To the outside. And now a toss into the ring post. Akechi getting his cardio in. There's 4. Akiko with an arm breaker. Now there's 5. Over the shoulders. Discus punch, there's 7. And we might see a double count out here for the first fall. Nope, Akiko's back inside, or Akechi, Akiko's back inside the ring. And so is Akechi at the count of 9. But Akiko, the flying European cross to the back of the head. And Akechi with an Irish whip. Diving underneath. Pop up. Enzigiri. We are still 0-0. And remember, this is a first 2 out of 3 falls, so first fall doesn't really matter too much. It sets the tone, yes, but it's not lethal. Now Akechi with a wrist clutch. Double knees to the spine. Irish whip. Pop up. Enzigiri again. Akechi trying to reset this tone. Knee. And now Akechi just sending Akihiko down in the corner. Stomps to the chest. And now looking for another drive-by. And now just loosening up, using the turnbuckle. And lining up another snake bite. And the cover. There's 2. There's 3. Akihiko on, on the proverbial ropes. Small package driver. Going for the cover to tie this back up. There's 2. Akechi gets the shoulder up. We have seen this in the past, especially during, the Iron Man match between these two. Akechi is hard to pin. And now using the ropes as leverage, referee seeing that, calling off the pinfall. Akechi is slippery. He is, like I said, he is very hard to pin down. And like I said, it's only been done once by this man in red on your screen right now, red and black. Akihiko Sanada. And now in the corner. Lining up a Superman punch and a little bit too eager, so there's just a glorious uppercut. And now Akihiko setting up the roaring European uppercut to tie this one up. There's 1, there's 2, we're at 1 apiece. Next fall wins. Will the season be undefeated? Or will... I wouldn't even call him David. I would say Samson defeat Goliath. There's 1, there's 2, and a near fall. Akihiko stays alive. Running big boot to the outside. Everyone in this arena on their feet. Everyone cannot believe what they are witnessing. 2 titans going to battle. Both of them bleeding along the outside. Giving their blood, sweat, tears, whatever other bodily fluid you want to add to that equation into this match. There's 5. Will we have a double count out? Akechi kicks Akihiko off of him. There's 6. Turning Akihiko around. There's 7. Tombstone pile driver along the outside. There's 8. Akechi's back inside the ring. There's 9. Akihiko has to come to his senses, and he will not. And Akechi remains undefeated. The perfect season. 28-0. Playing it perfectly. The tombstone pile driver along the outside. Oh. What a year. What a year. Akihiko, be proud. But Akechi, entering the record books, the undefeated champion. And now we have only one match left this year. And now for our main event of the year and our final matchup of the season.
The men's undisputed Impact Universal Championship.
It is a champion versus champion match. Introducing first. Oh god, is my watch showing the right time? It's not 5:30. It's not 3:30. It's Reyn time. Your Royal Rumble winner, cashing in tonight. It's Reyn. Losing the belt last year at this very match, match 28 at Ultimate Fight Night against not Shinjiro Aragaki, against Zenkichi Hasegawa. And now looking to redeem himself tonight. And his opponent. He is your men's Universal Champion. It is Raiden. Not Jack the Ripper, just Raiden. He doesn't need to go Jack the Ripper mode tonight. He's not facing off against 47 or Jin. Or Armstrong. I'm not saying Ryan's not in their caliber, it's just these two backstage, I knew that they just wanted to have fun tonight. Put on a show.
Introducing the challenger from Stillwater, weighing in at 235 pounds, one half of the men's undisputed Impact, the tag team world champions, the Motor Riot. And his opponent from Japan, weighing in at 195 pounds, the men's undisputed Impact Universal Champion, the Cyborg, the Ninja,
And now here we go. Our final championship match of the year. Raiden versus Ryan. Champion versus champion. Falls count anywhere. And the referee rings the bell to meet in the middle. One count. Or one, one fall, I should say. Raiden elbowing himself out of the corner. Irish whip, sending Ryan to the outside and immediately starting off this falls count anywhere. Heading underneath the ring, picking out a baseball bat. Strike to the knee, to the forearm. And now Ryan with a standing submission hold. Raiden immediately elbowing out. And this one will either go like 15 minutes or it'll end in 5. There's like no in between. Corkscrew kick from Raiden. Only one count in the corner. And now doing a little bit of redecorating. Probably not going to use it this match because, you know, the AI never actually, you know, does announcer's booth attacks. But the thought that it's the thought that counts. Barrel roll suplex from Ryan. And now walking Raiden, spearing him into the apron. And an alley-oop elbow drop. Over the shoulders, Raiden slipping out. Trying to send Ryan for a run, and does. Kind of. And now Ryan, chicken wing, 180 flip powerbomb into the cover. Raiden kicks out before the referee could even get into position. And now Ryan with a military press slam. And sending Raiden into the gold steps. Elbow missed. Slugging right hand. Stomp to the wrist. Elbow drop. Now Ryan looking underneath the ring. There's a steel chair. And Raiden with a spinning heel kick, knocking the chair out of his hands. And an Irish whip, or just going around the ringside, just like Fox versus Teddy last night. Into the cover. There's one. Ryan kicks out. Spinning back heel kick again. Stomp to the spine. And an arm breaker. Corkscrew splash. And now Raiden, is he setting up the rules of nature? Indeed he is. And they fight, and they run when the sun comes up, but Ryan not running. Turning that into a belly-to-back suplex. There's one. Raiden kicks out. Now I have rules of nature stuck in my head. Roll through cover from Raiden. There's one. Ryan kicks out. Into the ring post. And now looking for a new toy, a kendo stick. One strike before going for the cover. There's two. Reyn kicks out. And Reyn, if he wins this, becomes the 4th double champion? I think he becomes the 4th double champion in JWE history. 3rd? Because we're not counting Kokichi. I think it would be the first male double champion. There's a spinning back heel kick from Raiden. Right? Because it was Sayaka last year. And then Fiora had it for a couple months this year. I don't recall anyone else being double champion. And now Reyn taking Raiden to Suplex City. There's 2. There's 3. And now going for the cover. To make history, there's 2. Raiden kicks out. And now Reyn with a slam into the cover. There's 1, there's 2, and Raiden kicks out. Another slam in the corner. There's 1, 2. So close. 2.9. Now a small package driver from Raiden into the roll-up. There's a 1 and only 1. A kick sending, or trapping rather, Reyn between Raiden's foot and the barricade. Head scissor elbows. And I'm surprised, yeah, Raiden hasn't done his Pele kick. That's like his signature move. That's his signature, non-signature move. The Pele kick. He hasn't done that yet. I'm surprised. Raiden picking out yet another kendo stick. And again, only using it to hit Reyn once. And now the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Reyn kicks out. Kneeling DDT. And now Raiden just pulling on the arm. Moonsault, Reyn gets out from underneath it at 14 frames per second. Irish Whip, we've completed a full lap. And now Reyn picking up the kendo stick. Bashing Raiden over the top of the head with it. Going for the cover. There's 1 and only 1. Both men showing that they still have a lot in the tank. They still have a lot to give. Deadlift suplex from Reyn. Forcing Raiden back up to his feet. Tossing him into the corner. We're just gonna go around ringside, aren't we? Power slam into the top of the barricade. And the pin. There's 1, there's 2, and Reyn redeeming himself from last year. Ending the season as double champion. getting his hands back on the Jayromada Men's Universal Championship belt. And with that, I would like to thank y'all for joining us not only here tonight, but for the entire year. It's just been incredible. Yeah, we've had our ups and downs this year, but overall, I'm proud of how this year turned out. And yeah, we will be taking a short break. Be coming back February-ish. Not entirely sure when. Probably maybe second week of February. But yeah, I'll be taking most of the. I'll be taking January off. At least for this, I'll still be doing Nier. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us here for the entire season, and hope to see you next year. And until then, we are signing out from Lafayette, Louisiana. Merry Christmas, y'all, and Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year.